Hey everybody, so Jon David had a 10 out of 10 day. It went really well. He pretty much could have had it go slightly better, but I'm not counting that against him, and I'll get into that why here in a second. But hypernatremia is the word of the day, and it means when you have really high sodium, which can happen for a multitude of reasons, but the most common reason is dehydration, which Jon David has been negative on his fluid balance the last couple of days, and because they had stopped giving him feeds in preparation of the extubation, that coupled with everything, as well as him being on really high diuretics, pretty much led to him being dehydrated, which led to him having hypernatremia, which is why today wasn't, there were some things that could have gone better, but they rebounded, they figured it out, and so that's why it's a 10 out of 10. Like, couldn't have really asked for it to go any better than what it did. But that is hypernatremia, and again, basically it's just really high sodium from dehydration, and it causes some complications like tachycardia and really high heart rate, as well as hypertension, which is high blood pressure. And so those are some things that he was showing, and then because they've kind of figured it out, those are some things that have been resolved because of it. But he had a good night, and then he had a great day. Like I said, 10 out of 10. They were able to wean his Dex, which is his last remaining sedation drip, and they've gotten that down to 0.3. So it has about 2 more weans left, because they won't be able to go to 0.1 because it's too low for the channels to actually flow through it. So they'll go to 0.2 tomorrow, and then after that will probably be turned off after the 0.2, and so then we'll be done with the Dex. They also weaned his airflow today. He went from 10 liters to 8 liters, and they also weaned his oxygen from 25% to 23%, and then down to room air at 21%. And then through the night so far, they've kind of yo-yoed 21%, 23%, 21% back and forth. That is because the way that his heart is set up right now, there's still a hole in the middle of his heart, but separating the 2 chambers. And so when he is more relaxed and asleep like he is right now, it tends to shunt right to left. And that is, the right side is the deoxygenated blood going back to his lungs. And so when it shunts right to left, it lowers his oxygen saturations, which they can see on the monitors, and then they kind of bump him up on the oxygen, then it fixes itself, and then it'll shunt left to right, and so his oxygen goes up, and then it's just this little yo-yo game. And so it's nothing to be concerned about right now. It's kind of expected to happen, and honestly will probably keep happening until we have that next surgery and can remove the PA band and fix that VSD, that hole in his heart, to where he will have 2 completely separated ventricles, and so then there won't be any shunting or mixing of blood in there, and that will kind of fix that issue. But as of right now, it'll be kind of getting used to seeing him, especially when he's sleeping deeply like he is now, kind of yo-yoing with his oxygen sats. And they're not crazy. Basically, they'll drop into the upper 70s, and then upper to mid 70s all the way up to low 90s, and so they just kind of fluctuate because he's having that mixing. But they did figure out the hypernatremia today, figured out his dehydration, started giving him feeds back at 30 mLs an hour, so that has fixed a lot of his dehydration issue. But he also has had some electrolyte issues, which is common with being on a lot of diuretics and peeing a lot, and so he is figuring all that out, and they're figuring all that out with him, and they're fixing it. But that has been a pretty good day. He did what he does best. He blew bubbles and watched his mobile and just had fun during the day, just being a baby. And he has an echo tomorrow for us to kind of follow up and see how his heart function is. And we're praying that it will be as good as the last one, because that one was the best one he had in a long time. And then Hunter had fun with his friends today over at Miss Anna's. He also had fun racing Gatlin on some toys. And then Hunter had his pet fish that y'all saw yesterday. It got put in the freezer, and then he has it as his pet fish now, and much like Jesus with the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, stretching them into feeding 5,000 people, he's not feeding 5,000 people with it, but he's finding 5,000 uses for that fish. He has it as his pet fish. He put it on the swing, went down the slide with it. He then put it on the grill and pretended to cook it and eat it, and like he's finding all different things for this fish to do with him, because it is now his pet fish. And so he's just having fun and has an imagination, and that's fun for a 3-year-old. And then we also had Coach Singh come over and visit him and push him on the swing. He dressed up as a gator this evening over at Mimi's, and apparently somebody told him about a hammerhead shark that washed up on Carolina Beach. And so he wants to go catch hammerhead sharks, and he loves sharks, by the way. As much as he loves fishing, he loves sharks. He's gonna be a Shark Week kid when he gets a little older. And then he also has a plush shark that he was talking about that he had, and he caught it, and it was 4 pounds, so it had to be a baby great white, because he said this is a great white shark and it was 4 pounds. But praises for the day. Jon David made forward progress, and I know that a lot of people have been praying for him. If y'all want to share praises, I know a lot of people who are in prayer groups for him, who are in churches for them, who have him on the bulletin. If you want to share praises for how he's been doing in the last week or two, please do so. I know that there have been a lot of people for a long time praying for him, and we appreciate that so much, and we would like for y'all to celebrate with us. That's one of the reasons why we make all this so public, is so that way, we know that there's a lot of people in our community who want to know about him and know how things are going, but also please celebrate with this with us. And again, we are excited that he's doing really well, and it has been a long time coming. And so please, I know a lot of y'all have shared concerns and prayer requests. Please also share that, he has been doing better, and that is a praise. And again, the journey is still going. We still have a long ways to go, but we do want to celebrate the wins, and this is definitely a win. The last 2 weeks with him doing as well as he's been doing, those are definitely wins. And we would like to give the praise to God, and then also praise the medical team, because again, it needs to be done, and it needs to be given to them. But if you would pray for these 3 things, pray that he will continue to tolerate his weans as well as his feed increases, because he's almost at goal. He should be there sometime here in the next couple hours, as well as that echo giving us some good results in the morning. Please pray for all those who've lost loved ones, but especially those who've lost children. And then please pray for all of the kids and families battling congenital heart defects, because it is not an easy road. And specifically pray for all of those who are going into surgery, because that is really rough on the families. It's rough on the kiddos because they're getting open heart surgery, but it's rough on the families while they have to wait for that. And then throughout this process, there have been a lot of firsts and a lot of things I thought I'd never do. Point in case vlogging, never thought that I would do this. But some other things I thought I'd never do is set up an Etsy or a TikTok shop. And I'm in the process of doing those. I will probably post the links on here tomorrow. But there have been a lot of people asking for shirts, and so since we have people asking for that, we did it through Custom Ink the first time around. And if you don't meet the number that you click, then you have to pay for it, out of your pocket to reach that number. So instead of doing that, we're going to go through Etsy and TikTok shop, and then that way it's just a standing order. It's there, and then as you order it, it'll get sent to you. And so it won't require us to redo it every 30 days or 50 days or whatever. We can just have it there, and then if you want it, you can go in there, order it, and it'll get sent to you. But you can go by either way, and I'll have both links on here tomorrow. I just want to make sure everything works before I do that. I also forgot to put in the original video that there was a Duke photographer who came around the Wednesday before his emergency cath. So that's why he's a little puffy in these pictures, or really a lot puffy in these pictures. But they were really cute pictures, and we got them back, and so they're in here as well. But we really are appreciative of Duke for doing that. Hope y'all have a good night, and God bless, and y'all continue to choose hope daily, and we'll see you tomorrow.
work.
And Jon David, tell everybody bye-bye.